We're recording.
I will now call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners. It is Thursday, February 2025, and the time is 7 p.m. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Bendy? Here. Commissioner Bowe? Here. Commissioner Halting?
Here.
Commissioner Leduc?
Here.
Commissioner Metza?
Here.
Commissioner Tunnel?
Here.
Commissioner Grau?
Here. Are there any amendments, additions, or deletions to a current item on the agenda? All right, with seeing none, I'll ask for public comment. Seeing no public, we will move on to approval of minutes. I move to approve the minutes from the February 6, 2025 regular board meeting. Second. Any comments? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll move on to report of park officials. I have nothing to report. Executive Director Shea.
Thank you, President Grau. Greatly appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. The one item that I wanted to touch base on was the farmers market. Last meeting, we did speak about the farmers market and talking about potentially moving the farmers market from the former AT&T lot to the streets around Hodges Park. The city did get approval from Rain Capital to reuse the former AT&T lot for this year. So that's for 2025. They have approval to use it, no 30-day out. So this whole summer they will be at the location that they have been. I have received emails as late this afternoon around 5:15 between Joe Gilmore and Drew Awesome from the city. They also had a farmers commission meeting last night. Last night they talked about alternative locations. The park district did come up in a fashion looking to seek if there is any way they could use any park district land that may not be in Uptown. The email that I got specifically spoke about Prospect Park. Again, this just came in about 2 hours ago. I reached out to them to let them know that I'd like to have a talk with them before they go to think about Prospect Park, especially with the splash pad and everything else is going on in the summer. It probably won't be a viable solution for them. They said they did want to. Some people in the farmers market wanted to keep it on public land, not private land, so not getting the same situation they were at before, but open to ideas for the park district. It looks like their next meeting is March 19th. And they will be bringing up the farm alternative locations at that date. As this is hot off the press, I will be talking with staff and looking at them for some insights and guidance about what sites they think might be valuable and feasible for a farmer's market that's on park district property. Obviously, we have issues with Hodges Park, and also there are issues with Prospect Park. But those are the two that were just brought up. But they did get me information at 24 hours after a meeting, so that was great that Joe and both Drew reached out to me. But more to come on that topic. But the good news is for 2025, the farmers market will not be at Cortland and Butler and will not impact our operations at Hodges Park. Any questions on the farmers market right now?
Did they bring up Hinckley at all?
I wasn't at the meeting yesterday, so I'm just going off of the email that was
Okay.
brought to me. And all they talked about was Prospect Park was the only one that was highlighted in there. It says part of the FMC's discussion last night was mostly specifically about Prospect Park, but also a general desire to potentially use any park district parkland property in Park Ridge. So that was the first time that Prospect ever got mentioned to me through email. So more to come as we go on. So again, work with staff and bring back something to the board at the first March meeting to kind of talk through it and our stance of what we can help with, if anything, for the farmers market going into the future.
I think not only do you have the splash pads, but you also have a lot of affiliate use on
Correct.
Saturday morning.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
I think Mary Q would work. I asked John to just bring this to the board, and we'll tell them what will work. And we don't need to be playing whack-a-mole with every new idea they have. You know, if they want us to evaluate our sites, we'll tell them what is acceptable to us.
correct.
So,
So yeah, to Commissioner Tunnel, your point, there is a lot with affiliates out here, even the Tiny Tot soccer programs out here as well. There'd be a lot of issues that there's not ample parking. If the Historical Society has events too, it would be an impact as well. So there are more than just the splash pad. Besides that, the staff is doing a great job with business as usual. We had some events go this past couple of weeks looking into spring brochure. I'm sure, Margaret, you'll touch base on that during your report, but the spring brochure goes out soon and just rolling right into summer. But a special thank you to all the staff for all that they do and making the Park District great for the community. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. Marketing and Public Relations.
Good evening. My report starts on page 7. I am going to start with just a brief recap of the IPRA IAPD conference. All 3 marketing staff members attended conference. There's a list of the sessions we went to in my board report. Some highlights is that we were excited to attend some sessions on AI, but the ones that we attended we thought were a little bit introductory and we didn't get much out of them, but we were excited that they were bringing more things about AI to the conference. My staff also particularly likes the agency showcase because that's where all the districts kind of bring their marketing pieces. So it's a chance for us to see what other people are doing and kind of inspire us for what we can do. Another highlight was the exhibit hall. We like engaging with the vendors. One in particular was Studio GC Architecture and Interiors. They had a little tabletop bowling game, and whichever district had the highest score at the end of conference got a $250 donation to the Friends of the Parks. So we rallied our staff at conference and we won that. And the foundation has received the check. So
Margaret has carpal tunnel.
might have bowled more than once. Maybe. It's the Chicago way. Overall, though, it's a great chance to connect with our coworkers and to share ideas and also to connect with our peers from other districts. So moving on, the spring brochure, as John mentioned, it actually goes out on Monday. So we're just wrapping that up right now. Marketing is also working a lot with Human Resources and Recreation on our summer hiring campaign to promote our summer jobs. And then I just wanted to end with the Petals for the Parks annual event is coming up in April. April 12th is the donation drop-off, and the 26th is the sale. This is our 12th year doing the event. Last year raised $15,000, so we're looking forward to another good year. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you for your good work.
Thank you.
Human Resources.
All right, good evening. A couple items I first wanted to highlight that are not on the report. I'm excited to share that Child Labor Law of 2024 amendment was signed early last week, so yay. So that means that we are able to employ 15-year-olds, reinitiate hiring those individuals, and we'll have a supervisor that's at least 18 years or older on site at that time. So we've been working with staff to make sure we can comply. We feel confident in that. So we're finalizing a couple pieces so we can get that back up on all of the applications, all the job postings and everything. So we're excited about that. Myself, our risk and safety manager, and 2 other supervisors were fortunate to attend mental health first aid training yesterday. It was a really great training that is hosted by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing. Really, it's kind of like CPR first aid training, but it's recognizing signs of individuals who might be experiencing some emotional situational items. So being able to recognize early signs, moderate signs, and then crisis, and how to intervene with that and get them the help they need. So that was really great. Hoping to maybe bring that a little further for staff to help provide that. As Margaret mentioned, recruitment is in full swing. We've been lucky enough to work with the great marketing department and recreation to come up with our recruitment campaign. Tomorrow, Patty will be going, our HR coordinator will be going around starting to post some signs and advertisements out there for our camp interview night that'll be coming up in March. We also have some great job fairs we'll be attending as well. So that's all coming quickly for the summer, and we're excited about it. Congratulations to Patrick Barker, who's currently our Parks 4 person. He was promoted to Parks Manager and will begin that role when he gets back from vacation on Saturday. So congratulations to him. And then we've posted for his replacement Parks 4 person position internally first per our collective bargaining agreement. So more to come on that. It's kind of a little bit of a cycle. So it's fun to get to interview and meet with all individuals. Manager Myers is working through a recertification process with School District 64, having those ongoing discussions and conversations. Those are going well, and they'll continue discussing those options. And 2 of our 3 staff in our area attended the IPRA APD conference and had a great experience there. A lot of great information on law updates, benefits, some trends that other districts are doing, some employee engagement items and such, and just really enjoyed that, as well as getting to kind of learn what other districts are doing and seeing, oh, I didn't think of that. That might be something interesting to try here. So there was a lot of great stuff that came out of that. And then I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So wait, can 15-year-olds be camp counselors? Out of curiosity?
No, with the American Camp Association, they have to be at least 16.
Okay.
Great question. Any other questions I can answer?
All good news.
you.
Thank you. All right, we move on to Finance, Commissioner Bundy.
Okay, all right. Turn it over to Superintendent Larson.
Good evening. My report begins on page 12. I didn't really have anything to add other than bond sale happened on February 11th. It's the bottom point, and we got a wonderful rate of 3.63%, which is nice and low. We had 3 bids. This was the lowest, and as each one came in, PMA was like, "Oh, this will for sure be the low one." Oh no, the next one is the lowest. And then we came in with Time Bank, which is formerly Park Ridge Community Bank. So they've purchased our bids in the past. So it's always nice to have someone very, very local. So if anyone has any questions about the finances.
Yeah, you made a comment about there being a transfer to capital, but there wasn't an actual number.
Because
You're not done yet.
possible.
Possible. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's none
I know.
budgeted.
I know it wasn't budget. Yes.
Yeah, it's not budgeted, and we're still going
alluded.
through our audit process. So
Okay.
that's a decision we make. That's sort of one of the last things we do before we close the year.
Okay. Is that soon, later, or is it like May? Like when would you know?
Well, we'll know. So the auditors are coming back at the beginning of March. Before that time, Lucy is still doing account reconciliations. I'm still doing my review. So there is still some movement between accounts right now. So then the auditors come, they do their testing and review, let us know if there's anything we need to reclass. So it would be after they're here, we would have a pretty good idea.
Thank you.
That was intriguing.
No promises.
Any other questions? Okay, all right. I move to approve the payment of the expenditures in the total amount of $4,374,844.22.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please. Discussion, roll call.
I did have a non-monetary discussion. I saw plastic utensils and plastic paper, or plastic tablecloths on there. I'm just saying.
Was that one of the purchasing cart purchases for an event or
Just something
something?
to look at.
We will keep that in mind.
Okay, all right. Can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Halting,
Yes.
Commissioner Leduc,
Aye.
Commissioner Matza,
Yes.
Commissioner Tunnel, Commissioner Bendy,
Yes.
Commissioner Grau.
Aye.
Should I do that right away? Okay. I move to approve resolution number 25-1, a resolution authorizing the participation of the Northern Illinois Municipal Electric Collaborative, NIMEC, and authorizing the executive director to approve a contract with the most optimal electricity provider for a period of up to 36 months.
Second.
Thank you. All right, discussion.
Sure. So I put a brief memo about this on page 42. We did have Adam from NIMAC come during the last board meeting. So this is just a resolution that allows us to participate in the bid and for Executive Director Shea and I to make a decision on the day of the bid, which is March 4th, as to what, if any, electricity we want to purchase. We will be receiving bids for 1 year, 2 year, and 3 year for our large locations. And we will also have a green bid and a regular bid. So we'll have lots to choose from. Usually how it works is we get a memo or an email in the morning, and then there's 2 calls scheduled where they review the bid process and the more in depth about how the bids were collected. There's one at 10 o'clock. I think John and I are going to be at the 2 o'clock, attend the 2 o'clock call, and then we'll make a decision after that.
Have we been doing 1 year usually?
We did 1 year last year for Oakton and the Activity Center. Usually, looking at the past, we usually do 2 years.
Oh.
And again, we don't, if we decide we don't want to do this, we don't have to. And then our electricity just goes to ComEd. And
Oh, gosh. No, but the pricing probably helps you decide whether you want to do long-term or not.
yeah, yes.
Any other questions? All right, can we have a vote, please?
Commissioner Halting,
Yes.
Commissioner Leduc,
Aye.
Commissioner Matza,
Yes.
Commissioner Tunnel, Commissioner Bendy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Grau.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Leduc for recreation.
And I will turn it over to Superintendent Armour.
Thank you. So the first almost page and a half of the report gives some information about the 12 staff from the recreation department who had to skinny it down a little bit that attended. This is the most we've had in quite a while. And 2 of which we had supervisors that it was their first time attending. So I think they were pretty impressed and learned a lot. We all learned a lot. It was a great experience. Some of the things that were already mentioned with networking and, some specific things we were looking for in the exhibit hall too. It's like a scavenger hunt trying to find some things that for Oakton. So it was kind of exciting. So everyone had a great time and learned a lot. Another staff highlight, which is towards the end of the report, but I wanted to recognize our aquatic supervisor, Jenna Jezik. She passed the test to become a certified park and recreation professional. So the test is pretty tough, I hear. It's been a few minutes since I've taken it, so I think it's changed a bit. And then she was also appointed as the co-chair for the IPRA Aquatics Committee. So wanted to be sure she was recognized here. She did a lot of networking at conference with her, the new people that she's met over the past few years and preparing for these. So programs, memberships, classes, really across the board, have had a great kickoff to the new year. There's really just 2 items that I wanted to highlight in the report in case anyone missed the Beyond the Bell highlight. That I hope everyone saw that because, it's been years since we can say that every participant has been contacted to be removed from a wait list. So since this report, I asked today, there's still only 15 people left on the wait list, and that's just, we're waiting to hear back from them. People don't always call you back, so most likely I'm going to throw out there that I think everyone's been accommodated. So it's really, staff have worked hard to get there. It's hard to find people to work those schedules, and obviously everyone knows it's been really, really growing. So kudos to them, and it's.
Is that something we could perhaps highlight in a Facebook post since certain people have been a little twitchy on Facebook as of late?
We could consider. See if we can come up with something. Yeah.
I think that, but that is a pretty great accomplishment, and I do think it should be messaged.
Record number. It is
record
Yeah,
numbers on
it's-
top of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I see new staff all the time. Like you guys keep hiring people.
Yeah.
It's like a churn machine, that program.
Schedules change, and it's not for everybody. It's definitely a road.
Is it like different people who work in the morning than in the afternoon? Or is it?
It depends.
I just was wondering.
At one point,
Yeah.
at the beginning, we're like, you have to either pick every morning, every
Okay.
afternoon, or
Uh-huh.
both. And, at one point, we're like, whatever, give us one day, one morning. Whatever you can give us.
I still have that image
it's-
of that mom dropping her daughter off after school. It was a teenage girl, and she barely came to a stop. Like it was just like, get in there and work. It's like emblazoned in my mind.
Yeah. So that was quite the accomplishment. Also wanted to highlight the Ascension Dance Company. They had a great competition, their very first one with this new team, bringing home 14 trophies, and then one of the dancers received a scholarship as well. So that was great. That's for a summer training program. That's not ours, but at this competition, they select some participants. Otherwise, the rec team is very busy preparing for spring and summer. Jobs are being posted. I feel like every day I'm approving 3 to 4 for the summer, and their interviews will begin soon. All the return letters have been sent to staff for camp and aquatics. I was told today we have 90 aquatic staff that are interested in returning. So, sometimes that dwindles off as people's schedules change, but that's a great start in February. And summer will be here before we know it.
How many guards do you usually have for summer?
Around between 100 and 120-ish. Just for like lifeguards and managers, and we have cashiers and swim instructors, swim team.
Okay, so that's all aquatics.
No, lifeguards is right around like 100 to 120. Cashiers is usually around 20. Swim team, I think we have 8 to 10. And then swim instructors, it just depends on registration, and that's a rotating one also. I think we have about 25.
Yeah, I don't think people appreciate how much hiring that is.
Yeah, in the summer it's a lot. So the more return staff we can get, the better.
But I mean, it speaks highly of what kind of place it is to work
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
right? Like,
Any other questions?
all right, well, thank you. And moving along to Buildings and Grounds and Commissioner Bowe.
All right, and Terry, congratulations on your new hire, starting in a couple days, and sounds like he's got some terrific skills, so welcome.
Yeah, he does, and thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for Patrick. Obviously, he's been with us for a number of years, and I've been directly involved in his development over the last several years, and so it's been exciting and enjoyable to see him grow and learn with the district, and his eagerness to learn and develop himself and to put his best foot forward is very admirable. So I think he's going to be a great addition to the team, and I'm really excited for him and his team overall in the district. So I think it's going to be good. Beyond that, Patrick, myself, and Jennifer Meunier were the people from our department that went down to conference this year. It was Patrick's first conference. So he really enjoyed and got to kind of soak in a lot of different experiences there that he wasn't familiar with. But, he came back afterwards and was very appreciative of the opportunity to network and meet other professionals, some of which he was being introduced to by myself or John or other people there. One person, he just struck up a conversation that happened to be someone that I've known for a while. And when they knew that he was working with me, he said they sat there and had breakfast together for 45 minutes and talked about all things, parks. So he's the from Clarendon Hills, the park superintendent there. So he really enjoyed that aspect of it, which I thought was great. Had an opportunity to learn about a lot of different things. I know AI keeps coming up, but a couple other different things about time management and leadership, and just some things that we've already been kind of working with and expanding on even since we've gotten back from conference. So everybody enjoyed that. It was also a good opportunity to team build within all the staff that were there as well. So beyond that, Oakton is of course moving along. We are working through some design ideas for that mezzanine space. Since it appears that we should have some funding available to do that now that IDOT's not something that we have to deal with for a turn lane. So we're working through some design ideas there. All the flooring has been delivered there, so there was pallets upon pallets upon pallets of the flooring delivered the other day. They were stacked up everywhere, so we're getting close to getting flooring installed in there, so it's really starting to move along. There's also a lot of other just kind of, detail coordinations, like, how is this going to work with that? And so it's, a visit out there and taking a look at something and getting back with a couple of different people, whether it's the IT team and then the construction manager. So, but everything's moving along really well there. And also just a reminder, we do have the driving range bid opening on February 28th. So it's kind of that last piece again, that we're looking forward to hearing about and seeing where that goes. Yes. So fingers crossed, February 28th.
Terry, don't want to interrupt while we're talking about the driving range. Estimated opening time for range?
No, it won't be its normal schedule. I can tell you that. We don't know though. It's really up in the air. It depends on what happens with these bids, when they can get going on the work and giving a contract to them to continue working. Obviously, some of the poles have been removed and that were on the one side, and they're being replaced on the other. Once we have a contract in place with them, they could, if it works with their schedule, begin working on what they need to do to get that stuff installed. I don't know where they need to be with permits, getting set up with the city, all those other, details. So I cannot imagine a scenario in which we're opening on our normal schedule. My hope and my guess is that it's sometime in the summer, near the time frame that we're planning on opening the whole facility. But I kind of like Karen earlier, no promises right now on that. So we're kind of in a situation where we really just want to make sure that we're getting it done right now, and that when we're doing it right the first time, getting it taken care of. So, and once we know, we'll certainly be sharing.
An extra grand opening then.
You
One
never
more
know.
thing to add to.
You never know. It might be another grand opening. You never know. So. I do also want to report that I was given an offer from Park Ridge Football last year when we started to talk about the efficiencies from the robot, that Rob Leach said that football would be happy to contribute $10,000 towards that, and he made good on that and provided a check for that from Park Ridge Football to help offset the cost of that. So obviously our gratitude to Park Ridge Football for helping offset the
Great.
cost of
Somebody needs to talk to Park Ridge Soccer.
So, well, that's actually the next people on my list to talk to. So I wanted to make sure I had check in hand. So I had
Football gave us 20.
No, but I
This
I
is
did
a,
make a I
this is
did
a
make
public
a brief,
meeting. It would be recorded
know.
at 10.
We were just discussing how many people listen.
Please.
I did make a brief mention to them previously that that we were working on this robot and that some of the other affiliates. So they know the formal request is coming, and I actually just checked in with April earlier tonight to make sure that I had the right contact person from soccer. So
I really appreciate you guys doing that.
Yep.
I really do.
Yep.
I mean, there's money out there. We just have to ask. So
Yep, you're welcome.
Is the robot going to be named Rob Leach?
That was not part of the agreement, so no.
When's the contest?
Oh, we just give
Next
like a
week?
cute sporty
Do we
name.
know about it? Did I miss something? Let us know so we can put our
For the robot?
yeah.
Yeah, that came over the other day. We had to uncrate it and get some photos for it. So
Googly eyes.
yeah, so
Isn't it fun to be in marketing?
So I will also mention that the sustainability committee did meet this last week to talk through the presentation that Lauren had, talk through some of the comments and suggestions that the board made. We pretty much just accepted all of them, made some updates. So we will have that in final form to just share with the board probably at our March meeting, just so you can see where the plan landed. And we're already kind of moving it forward. So.
Great.
So I'd be happy to answer any other questions that you might have on my board report.
I had a question just about the status of South Park. Do you think the courts will be ready? Is there a time frame?
My assumption is that they will be ready in a time frame that's very similar to when our pickleball courts were ready at Woodland, which was right around Memorial Day. So the timing is such that we've got to have the right temperature to get the the surfacing down or the painting done. So we were on that same exact situation for Woodland, and I remember that we were all rushing and pushing, and we had it open for Memorial Day weekend. So assuming we have a similar year of weather, it should be around then. A little bit warmer, a little bit earlier, could be a little bit sooner. So, but it's temperature dependent, so, or weather dependent. So,
Fingers crossed again. Yeah.
yes, yeah, exactly. So, and I know Jennifer just had a project meeting for that the other day, just to keep in touch with the team and with this. I mean, we've had a pretty cold winter this year. They're working on some of the plumbing is what they need to work on within that restroom. They said they can't work in those temperatures. It's not a heated space, and that's just not good for the all the things that they've got to do. So they're just waiting for weather, but the number of like work days that they have to complete in there are not such that that's going to be the holdup for that project. It's going to be us waiting on the weather for the rest of it. So, so once the weather breaks, we'll get there. So, and we have officially now crossed. I forgot to mention this. We've officially crossed 30 days of outdoor ice this year, which is I've never in my career have I seen that. Ever remember.
It's cold enough. It's almost too cold though.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's at that stage where the conditions are not great. Like on two of the rinks, the liners have been beat up because it's been used so much that when it did warm up a little bit of the water was lost. We can't fill it up anymore because it'll just leak out and create bigger issues. So we're kind of at that like, here's what you get. It's not unsafe. We're checking to make sure that it's not unsafe, but it's not as thick as it would and not filled up as high. We're also at the time where typically the angle of the sun really starts to melt ice when you get a direct sun, even if it's below freezing, as you can tell on days like this. So once it does melt out, it won't freeze again. So we'll probably dismantle them as soon as they turn to primarily water again, because we just won't see them refreeze. So days are numbered. But
I was curious about those numbers. It used to be more, right? More numbers. Higher amount of effort to make the ice, right? Because now you have smaller.
I would say that's correct, yes.
Okay. Is there a story to be told with these numbers, or are we just saying, yeah, we're doing a lot of work for a free amenity?
I'm sharing that there's a lot of work going into this free amenity. I think at some point we weren't getting any free amenity out of the hours. And so I think when we started doing these numbers last year and refining how we were monitoring them, the idea was, are we really sure we want to keep doing the free amenity? Because the free amenity is not actually a free amenity. It's a cost for the district, right? So this year shows a different story. So I think it's a different chapter for the story, and one that we'll keeping track of. And, maybe in 2 years from now, if the next couple of chapters are more like the ones we've had in the past, then that board at the time might say, or they might say, this is a great amenity that we have. So I'm just providing the information there because it became clear to me at some point over the last 2 years that we were spending an enormous amount of labor hours in the winter time to manage this. And so when there's other things like the challenge, like right now, this is okay. We haven't really been seeing snow. I start getting snow and people expect this to happen too. We actually don't have the staffing for it. So that becomes a different challenge. So we haven't run into that in a number of years, but so.
Was there initially a lot of people going, and has that sustained through, the course of the last few weeks? Have you got any idea of
I have
usage?
zero information on usage. There could be 100 people out there every night. There could be nobody out there. I really don't know. I'd have to ask the neighbors. We used to have cameras that we could go in and look at occasionally, but we don't have access. I don't think those exist anymore out there. So yeah, I'm not sure. By the cleanup and stuff, we know people are using them. I shouldn't say nobody, but we know that people are using them. We're just not sure how many.
Yeah, I know we ran over there right away because it was like, oh, you got to take advantage of it now. But, I think once it's solidly frozen for so long, maybe people are getting into that habit, or maybe they're getting bored of it. Who knows? But anyway, I love the idea that that's a free amenity that's being offered. So thanks to all you guys.
Yep. We'll thank them again for you.
Yeah. All right, moving on to water slides. I move to approve the Slide Right Incorporated as the lowest responsible bidder for the Centennial Aquatic Center Water Slides Restoration Project in the amount of $74,650, and to authorize the executive director to execute and deliver such agreement. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion, Terry?
So it's pretty straightforward. It's something that we had budgeted for in capital. The company we checked out had great references. We've talked to them about the time frame. They said they'll have no issues to get this done before the beginning of the season, and this should put us in good shape for the next good handful of years. We'll just have to do a more minor waxing over the next handful of years. So, but there's some patching work to be done, and then they'll be re-gel coating all the fiberglass on the slides. So
it's not a replacement, it's just the gel coating.
yeah, there'll be sanding down all the fiberglass on the two main slides, as well as the slide that's actually in the little wading pool, the kiddie pool, and which is in really bad shape. But so they're going to be sanding down both the interior and exterior of those. The exterior of the slides get a fresh new coat of paint because it's got a lot of areas that are delaminating. You can see exposed fiberglass now. The interior gets some patchwork that it needs because it's got a couple little holes that are exposing themselves. So those get patched, everything gets sanded down. We get 20 to 25 mil gel coat over the whole thing. Then they wax it all out and we'll be good to go.
I wish I would have timed myself last year.
Comparatively? Yeah, I know.
Especially on the green one.
Had only we
See if I
known. You'll know when you skip across the water this year why that is.
Yeah, who's the
I'm
first
the
one to
lady
go
on
down?
breaks. I'm one of the adults on breaks that's like going.
I want to go with
like
you.
12 times.
When was the last time that was done, or has it been?
It hasn't been since they
it's
were
new.
installed. So this is their
10,
factory,
12 years.
factory finish over there for these. So
Okay, great. Any other comments?
So the difference, will there still be bird prevention, pool filter controls, and caulking?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we still have those other things. Those are part of that overall budget. We just haven't gotten through all of those. So, yep.
What's bird prevention? What
So
is that?
the handholds for the water slide tower, where you access all the bolts and everything, they're big enough. I don't know why it happened just last year, but all of a sudden last year it turned into bird condominium, and there were I don't know 100 or some birds living in there, and they were everywhere, and there was like the whole area was like covered in bird poop, like it was bad. So we did what we could to keep up with cleaning it, and they were a little less interested in being there once there were people around, but they were still there, and it was kind of a problem and a mess. So what we're doing is we can't cover those completely because it's access points to get to bolts if you need them. I talked to one of our engineers about a solution, and so we're actually going to work on making some metal plates that magnetize up in the space, but we could easily move them out if we need to. So it was a good solution. I know a local manufacturer that we're going to have them made. So
Some owl statues on top and
yeah, that might be something else to put there too. So yeah.
Roll call?
Commissioner Leduc,
aye.
Commissioner Metza,
Yes.
Commissioner Tunnel, Commissioner Bendy. Yes. Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Halting,
Yes.
Commissioner Grau.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And I'll pass it over to Commissioner Metz.
We have no report tonight for policy, so I'll turn it over to Commissioner Tunnel.
On page 81, we have the 2025 fireworks event intergovernmental agreement. I move to approve the intergovernmental agreement for the fireworks event by, between, and among Maine Township High School, District 207, the City of Park Ridge, and the Park Ridge Park District, and authorize the executive director to execute and deliver such agreement.
Second.
Discussion.
I mean, are there any changes really to other than dates?
Just dates and names. Everyone was happy with the agreement and suggested changes.
I want to compliment staff. This is just an example of a great intergovernmental agreement. It comes to us early. It's well thought out. And I mean, that's the kind of thing that we would want to do with the city if we have a farmer's market at the city. Not,
It's April and her team for getting it all ready before the year.
thank you. I know it's a lot of work, the whole thing, but when you have good guidelines, it works well.
Anyone else? All right, may we have a roll call?
Commissioner Bendy. Yes. Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Halting,
Yes.
Commissioner Leduc,
Aye.
Commissioner Metza,
Yes.
Commissioner Tunnel,
Aye.
Commissioner Grau.
Aye.
Turn it back to you.
All right, is there any communications or correspondence? New business. We have IAPD, IPRA conference sharing.
Yes. I don't know if you're aware, but staff attended the IPRA conference. Kidding. As it was stated throughout everyone's report, we did attend the 2025 IAPD IPRA Soaring New Heights conference. We had about 21 team members who attended. That does not include the board members. We had 2 board members out there for a day and 1 board member that joined us for lunch with Laura Murphy. So it was a great experience. Overall, there was about 70 unique sessions that staff attended. So if you look at that whole conference guide, there was 70 different ones. Some went to the same sessions, but we all went to 70 total. Personally, for me, I really enjoyed this year's conference. I thought the sessions I went to were great. I really enjoyed getting to know the staff in a different mindset and different element. We had lunch, obviously, together with Laura Murphy, and then we also went out to staff dinner as well on Friday. So it was really a great experience, I thought, from a team building and morale perspective. In your board packet, there is a couple pages of a summary of all 21 conference sharing reports that were received by staff. I worked with the staff and department heads to create a new conference sharing form. There was something we had existing, but kind of elaborate on it. And there's a lot of information in there. It might be a little detailed, but a few key takeaways is Terry mentioned it earlier, and even the robot is AI in the parks world. Parks and Recreation, AI is really taken over. There was a lot of sessions that staff attended for AI, utilizing it for board meeting minutes, ChatGPT or Otter AI, ways to help enhance workflow so people won't get burnt out, make it easier, work smarter, not harder. So there were several different AI sessions that staff went to. We also went to sessions regarding workforce development and leadership. This focused on mentoring, succession planning, leadership training, and also incentive programs for engaging best part-time staff. As right now, it doesn't seem that hiring is such an issue. April mentioned earlier that we have 90 lifeguards coming back, which is amazing. Our information is out already for the summer, but if we go back a couple years back, it was really hard to find staff. So it's always good to see what other districts are doing and what we could implement here. We also attended sessions for facility management, customer service, and programming. It was basically, again, there was augmented reality, again, AI to help with some of the trainings, to help with some programming initiatives. And also, there's always good ones to go to or legal compliance updates. Those are really good. Dirk does a great job putting on one that goes over all the high points that are all new legislative that are going in place. If you go to some of those sessions, they tend to be boring and there's a lot of things on the screen. Some people just pack all the information on the screen, but it's great because nowadays with the app, you get all those slides. You're able to keep all that information so you don't have to read every slide anymore. So, done are the days of people taking pictures with their phones because you have it right there on the phone. The app through IPRA over conference sessions has evolved, has changed. We use different providers. And I thought this year was really great. I didn't even take out my booklet because they had one where you could type all your notes and then email it to yourself. So it was really cool that you had it all digital. And someone that has really bad handwriting, this was a great tool. But also we reviewed ADA compliance, looking to see what type of ADA new laws are coming in, talking about a certified ADA compliance officer for the district. And the community engagement and marketing was also a core one that staff went to. Again, AI is a very cool component of what they could do out there. But overall, one of the most significant benefits of this conference that staff felt throughout the report was connecting with one another across departments. We're all over the place, especially in the summer, that we don't get to see everybody. So it was good to interact. It's also good to interact with your colleagues in the field because you talk about real world issues that are going on, talk about solutions that work for somebody, talk through some things. But it was a really great experience, I think, for staff. The conference reinforced our commitment to community service and development. And there were a lot of staff that this was the first time they went to, and people came up and said, "Thank you for doing this. Thank you for putting it on." So I thank the board for attending and who attended. And I also thank, approving the budget to allow staff to go. One thing about board development, we signed a resolution or an ordinance about me attending the IAPD business meeting on Saturday night at 3 o'clock. There's one thing that they do. Mary Beth sent it out in an email earlier. It's a board development program. It's kind of like CPRE, CPRP for board members where you register. It's a $20 annual fee. Every board member already is a member of IAPD. And then they get BDUs, board development units, similar to our CEUs. And there's sessions and community engagement that you go through yearly from October 1st to September 30th. Anything after September 30th gets towards next year. And you work your way up with units. So if you get 100 units, you're a notable board member. If you get 400 units, a distinctive board member. And then the prize possession is a master board member with 750 units. So if you're interested in becoming, going with board development, please look at the information that Mary Beth sent. And then also let Mary Beth know if you are interested in obtaining any board development programs. So again, thank you. And thank you, staff, for welcoming me at this conference and the interactions that we had. So thank you.
It sounds like a great experience for everybody that went, and I endorse the idea of getting people together, outside of the regular work day and getting a chance to interact. And I love, I've had to do this sort of thing before where you go to a conference, you summarize what the best parts of the conference were and what you learned from it. And I think what it does is it allows you to kind of digest it after you've been through that. And I really appreciate the reflections from staff that are provided just because it adds that one little bit more of saying, this is what I got out of that experience. So great idea.
Let me just say about what was it called, the board thing? Board member development. Yeah, I think all of us could qualify for the lowest level in a year. What Brian, you get a pin for that or something like that? Is that true? So anyway, yeah, I have a friend who got a master's in it. I don't know. I forgot to ask her how long it took her, though. I'm sure it took her a couple of years. But anyway, I would, it's kind of nice to get that recognition at the meeting. Just proves that Park Ridge is, doing okay, and our commissioners are involved, and you just get points for going to any event, going to board meetings. So it's kind of easy to really get up to 100 for the first round. So anyway, I encourage you to look at it. I'm going to do it. So thanks.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that report. It's been something the board has asked for a while, and it's very nice to see. And I think it helps when you write things down like that to say, oh yeah, that's something I'm going to do. But I know you go through it internally already, so I know that's not new, but it's new to us, so thank you. All right, any other new business?
thing. I just wanted to, again, to congratulate John Tunnel on his award to the chamber that the event's coming up in like 2 weeks, or a week, right? Congratulations again for all that you did. And I won't be there. I'll be at the Manassar event. So just wanted to tell you congratulations one more time before.
We should have music for that.
Some of us will be at the Nav Stars this year.
We will be cheering you on.
We'll try not to embarrass you.
Oh, I didn't commit to that.
I'll try not to embarrass you. All right. Any other new business? No. Okay. I move to adjourn to closed session for the purpose to discuss the performance of specific personnel. We will reconvene to open session to take action if needed on the matters discussed in closed session.
Second.
Any discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We will. All right. I reconvene the regular board meeting at 8:51. There is no need to take further action. Therefore, I move to adjourn the meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?